Curious about how to truly enjoy your golden years? Discover 6 vital habits that can help you stay healthy, happy, and independent after 70. From better sleep and regular checkups to positive thinking and wise financial choices, learn how these simple practices can transform your daily life. Embrace these tips and unlock the secrets to a vibrant and fulfilling life. Have you ever wondered how to thrive and stay joyful as you age? At 70, many of us face the challenge of maintaining both health and happiness while navigating the realities of independence. In this video, we'll explore 6 essential habits that a vibrant 70-year-old living on her own has found crucial for a fulfilling and healthy old age. From the importance of quality sleep and regular checkups to the benefits of a positive mindset and wise financial management, these practical tips will guide you toward a more joyful and resilient retirement. Stick with us until the end to discover how you can apply these habits to enhance your golden years and enjoy a life full of vitality and satisfaction. After the age of 70, not relying on children, I realized that old age can be healthy and happy, always cheerful, thanks to 6 key practices. Observing my peers and my own experiences, I have identified 6 habits that should be maintained to ensure a healthier and happier old age. Everyone hopes for good health and a clear mind to enjoy a peaceful and joyful old age. At 70 years old, she lives alone and is not dependent on her children. Her retirement life is very happy and comfortable, although her children want to bring her home to live with them. She believes she is still healthy and able to take care of herself, so she has not moved in with them to avoid unnecessary conflicts. She has summarized 6 good habits to maintain health and happiness in old age. Number 1, pay attention to sleep. Good sleep helps the body recover both physically and mentally. If you don't get enough sleep for a long time, you will face risks such as memory impairment, reduced concentration, and weakened immune function. For elderly people, the duration and quality of sleep can decrease. In reality, older adults still need sufficient time and high-quality sleep. Many older adults do not sleep well at night, waking up after just a few hours and feeling extremely tired during the day. This is essentially a result of sleep deprivation. To ensure enough sleep, you first need a quiet, dark, and moderately warm sleep environment to help elderly people fall asleep quickly. Second, avoid stimulants like coffee and alcohol before bedtime to ensure quicker sleep onset. Number 2, have regular health checkups. As people age, they often have various minor ailments in their bodies. If overlooked, these minor illnesses can develop into serious conditions that impact health. Regular health checkups can detect issues early and allow for treatment before conditions worsen. Therefore, regular checkups are essential, and blood sugar levels and blood pressure should be monitored. Of course, not only older adults need health checkups, younger people should also have annual checkups. This ensures good health and helps protect personal health better. Number 3, engage in moderate exercise. To live healthily and age gracefully, exercise is very important, especially for the elderly. Exercise can strengthen muscles and bones, improve blood circulation, and ensure cardiovascular and brain health. Many people over 70 feel their physical strength declining, do not want to move, and prefer to lie on the sofa watching TV. This is a mistake. Older adults should go outside more often for walks, enjoy sunlight, and engage in light exercise each morning and evening to boost their body's resistance. However, exercise for the elderly should be gentle, such as walking slowly or performing light exercises to keep the body flexible. Number 4, maintain a positive attitude. An optimistic attitude can make our body and mind healthier and more vibrant at 70. In simple terms, a positive mindset helps better cope with external pressures, significantly reducing risks of anxiety and depression and potentially extending lifespan. Therefore, elderly people should learn to regulate their emotions to always maintain a calm and optimistic attitude. Avoid complaining about things that don't go as planned. Naturally, older adults should try to avoid stressful environments and interact more with optimistic people. Number 5, manage spending wisely and avoid being deceived. Older adults are easily exploited by unscrupulous businesses. In recent years, many people with malicious intent have taken advantage of this characteristic of the elderly, promoting unknown health supplements. In reality, these products are ineffective and may even have side effects. Many older adults do not realize this is a scam. Elderly people need to spend wisely and avoid these health supplements. Not only are they ineffective, but they also waste money. Number 6, choose friends wisely. Many people focus on the number of friends and social connections. However, when one reaches the age of 70, it is better to build relationships with friends who can provide support in times of need. Appropriate social interaction can reduce loneliness and make individuals feel happier. You can participate in more community activities or volunteer services to make friends with other older adults and enrich your life. Realizations and reflections for a peaceful old age. When a person reaches the age of 70, it marks a new beginning. You can refer to these 6 good habits to enjoy a wonderful time in old age. Only at 70 did I realize that I shouldn't place too much hope on living long. Don't rely too much on the saying more children, more blessings really on yourself. At 70, I realized that lying in bed for 3 to 5 years may extend life by a few years. But what good is it if you are confined to a wheelchair and move around like a piece of wood? Initially, children may care for their parents well, but over time few can endure it. When we have too many hopes, we are more likely to be disappointed. It's like the higher you climb, the harder you fall. Being content with a stable life from the beginning is better. After reaching the age of 70, I reflect on the hopes I had when I was younger and realized that many of them were illusions and should be let go. I don't believe too much in the saying more children, more blessings. My grandparents used to say that having children is the greatest happiness. If there are many children, there will be at least one with potential, and when parents age, the children will take turns supporting them. This idea led my grandparents to have 7 children. After my grandfather passed away, my grandmother lived alone for over 10 years until she could no longer walk. Only then did she begin to rely on her children. The siblings discussed how to manage the last days of their mother. The youngest aunt said, "I still need to take care of my family on my husband's side. I can only visit my mother during holidays." The oldest uncle said, "I am very ill myself." Uncle 2 had passed away, so Uncle 3, being a son-in-law, didn't dare to speak up. Overall, parents give birth to children, and each child has different traits and filial piety. I increasingly understand that one should proactively manage one's own life, at least financially. If you have savings when you are ill, it's easier for children to contribute a little to care for parents. You can even self-fund your stay in a nursing home with your savings. To be more realistic than dreaming, our ancestors said, children are not as good as a caring spouse. This wisdom is why many people, even in their old age, still choose to remarry to have a companion in their later years. If someone remarries and takes good care of both their stepchildren and their children, the family can be better in old age. You can still enjoy the care of all your children. However, some negative scenarios can occur when you're quite old, around 70 to 80 years old, and lose your spouse. It can be difficult to find another partner to maintain harmony. By then, the children in the house are grown up, and an elderly person remarrying can face opposition, causing family conflicts and loss of harmony. Secondly, if the stepchildren are still in school, you might unintentionally enter a phase where you need to support their education, which can be very costly. When they grow up, there is no certainty that they will take care of you. Thirdly, if both partners are financially struggling, while they might have been able to work together in their youth, in old age neither has the physical strength for labor. Living together in poverty just adds to the burden. Fourthly, old age can lead to diminished mental acuity, making you susceptible to fraud, and you might lose both money and affection. Therefore, when you're 70 years old, I believe you shouldn't dream of true love as you did in your youth. Instead, be realistic to protect yourself and your family. Money is more important than love. You should look for a partner who has practical resources rather than just kind words. I don't place too much importance on buying a house, as you can't take it with you when you die. If you don't have a house, renting is fine. It's not something to be ashamed of. Many people work tirelessly and sacrifice their health to save up for a house. By the time you're 70, you might start to think about who will inherit the house. If you contribute to society, your children may resent you. If you divide the house among your children, they may begin to quarrel, and the one who inherits the house might not necessarily want to take care of you. They might put you in a nursing home and let you fend for yourself. Thus, I've realized that a house only provides temporary comfort and can't be taken with you when you die. If you can afford a house, that's great. If not, it's not a big deal. After all, we return to dust when we die. Living long doesn't necessarily mean happiness. After losing health, happiness also disappears, especially as you near the end of life. Living another day might just bring more suffering. Without dutiful children to care for you, prolonged illness can become a burden. Initially, they might take good care of you, but over time, few can endure. Children have their own lives and responsibilities. If they lack financial means, you become a burden. Even if you have a caregiver, they might become irritable and unpleasant. Therefore, at 70, I find that lying in bed for 3 to 5 years might extend life by a few more years. But what's the use? Sitting in a car and moving around like a log isn't beneficial. Live well each day and don't chase after longevity. This will make you happier from within. Consider returning to your hometown for your old age. Many elderly people have the idea of falling leaves return to the root, especially those from rural backgrounds who find their childhood beautiful and believe their hometown is where they should be. If you live in the countryside, you can raise chickens and ducks, chat with neighbors, and occasionally invite friends to shop, cook, or play cards. However, Those who have been away for many years will find various inconveniences upon returning. Transportation may be inconvenient, and in emergencies there may be no available vehicles. This is a constant annoyance. The environment might not be ideal, with pests and unpleasant smells from animal pens. Old houses need repairs, which can be costly. Neighbors may have passed away or moved to the city, leaving everything deserted. Farming is labor-intensive, and you might not manage it well. A farm is not a vacation home. Staying for a few days might be pleasant, but staying for 1 or 2 months might not be enjoyable. The scenery might still be beautiful, but customs have changed.
If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
Part 2. Benefits of living alone as an 80-year-old senior. Imagine reaching 80 years old and still living life on your own terms, with a spring in your step and a heart full of joy. Cheryl, a vibrant elder with a passion for freedom, shatters the common stereotypes about aging. While many see this stage of life as a time to lean on others, Cheryl has chosen a different path, one of independence, strength, and unshakable self-reliance. Her story isn't just about growing old, it's about living fully, embracing every moment with courage and grace. Join us as we explore Cheryl's remarkable journey and discover the secrets to a fulfilling, independent life at any age. In the eyes of society, turning 80 is often seen as a significant milestone in life. Many believe that once this age is reached, an individual's ability to care for themselves diminishes, and they must rely on others for daily needs. However, Cheryl, an 80-year-old wise elder, challenges this notion with her unique life philosophy. She firmly believes that age is just a number and doesn't define whether a person can live independently. Despite her advanced years, Cheryl still chooses to live alone, enjoying the peace and freedom that come with it. Her children's many invitations to move in with them and enjoy family life were all politely declined. She laughs and says, "I'm doing quite well on my own, no need to trouble the children. Living alone in my old age is the happiest and most stable choice for me. No other way of aging compares to this freedom and independence." Cheryl firmly believes that a happy old age should not depend on the care of children, but should be managed by oneself. She enjoys the tranquility that comes with living alone, spending each day at her own pace without having to cater to others' habits and expectations. This persistence is not only an affirmation of her self-ability, but also a defense of life's dignity. She vows to maintain this independent living until her last moment because, in her view, controlling her own life is the greatest happiness and satisfaction. Cheryl says, "Look at me. I'm 80 years old, yet my hearing is still sharp, my eyes are still bright, and I walk with a spring in my step. If I didn't say it myself, people would think I was just over 60. I'm full of energy. Since my husband passed away 10 years ago, my children have been more worried than ever, constantly persuading me to live with them, fearing I'd have an accident alone at home. But I had made up my mind to live on my own. I appreciate their intentions, but I don't want to move in with them in my old age. Why? First, I love freedom, living according to my own wishes, and I don't want to be bound by my children's living habits. There are places in their homes where I can't move or touch, and I can't stand that kind of restriction. Moreover, I don't want to become a burden to my children. They have their own lives to live, and my moving in, even if they don't say it, would inevitably disturb their peaceful life, especially their spouses. I can understand that. I always think keeping some distance with children is like a bowl of soup too close. It burns the mouth. Too far, it cools the heart. Living together, different habits and ideas will inevitably cause friction, and it would hurt harmony, something I don't want to see. So, after thinking it over, I decided living alone is the most comfortable. Going to a nursing home is out of the question. Too many rules for me. I'm too used to being carefree for that. Hiring a caretaker? The cost is high, and my pension is for myself. How can I give it to outsiders? My children have their own pressures. I can't add to their burdens. So I decided to rely on myself for old age. As long as my body is strong and I can take care of myself, I can happily live in my little nest until old age. Life is most comfortable when lived by oneself. To keep my body strong, I've put in a lot of effort and done a lot of research. I even teamed up with like-minded friends to visit those famous longevity villages to see how those centenarians live their lives. What I found was amazing. These elderly people, regardless of age, have one thing in common: they can't sit still. They're either busy in the fields or tidying up at home, always moving. They don't think they should wait for others to serve them just because they're old. They never let others do what they can do themselves. This spirit of independence and self-reliance is truly admirable. Looking closely at these healthy and long-lived elders, each one has a determined, cheerful, and optimistic personality. Even if life isn't wealthy, they make every day fulfilling and enjoyable. Eating well, sleeping well, and being in a good mood, this is their secret to longevity. Having found these commonalities, I have a rough idea of my future life. I used to be someone who would get stuck on minor details, letting small things upset me for days. But now it's different. I learned from those long-lived elders, staying cheerful every day, and naturally my body follows suit. Looking at my peers who aren't as healthy, their lifestyle habits are worrying. They live irregular lives, never eating or sleeping on time, rarely exercising, and such poor habits have deteriorated their health. By 70 or 80, they've completely lost their ability to live independently. I don't want to end up like them, needing others' help to live. To me, not being able to live according to my will is a very scary thing. I always believe the body is a use it or lose it situation. If a person doesn't exercise for long, their body will gradually lose vitality, thus losing health. So for many years, regardless of the cold or heat, I've always kept up with exercise. Even in wind and rain, I still go out, move around, and see the outside world. I would never let myself lie at home wasting my health. Not only do I exercise every day, but I also often travel in groups on trips. I often encounter difficult paths and steep hills. Every time I face such situations, even if others want to help, I insist on doing it myself. In my view, once I accept others' help, I'll start to slack off, never again strictly demanding myself to live a disciplined life, and then I'd be close to losing my abilities. My goal is to stay healthy and live well to old age. I'm never afraid of death. I only fear losing my ability to care for myself. I hope to pass away without illness. If I could leave in my sleep, I'd consider my life complete. Many people think that an 80-year-old living alone without anyone to care for them must have a miserable life. But what they don't know is that if an elderly person can live alone, it's actually a great happiness in old age. Health is everything. An elderly person with a healthy body can enjoy a happy and peaceful old age. Health is especially significant for the elderly. Living without illness and pain makes an elderly person the happiest. Don't you all agree with what I say? Cheryl says, I'm in good health, and my outlook is very optimistic. My happiness index in old age is very high, and living alone hasn't lowered my quality of life. The reason I've been able to live alone for 20 years so happily is due to these 3 points. First, when a person gets old, they should live a little selfishly. Children have their own blessings. Don't be a beast of burden for them. When my husband was alive, our combined pensions were $2,000 or $3,000 a month. My husband was very good at managing life, keeping our home in perfect order, and without lowering our quality of life. We still managed to give our son and daughter-in-law $600 a month. When my son and daughter-in-law got married, they bought a large house of over 100 square meters with a monthly mortgage of over $2,000. Though the young couple's monthly income exceeded $10,000, they had to raise a child and cover various living expenses, so they had significant financial pressure. My husband felt for them, so every month he voluntarily gave them $600 to ease their burden. After my husband passed away, I straightforwardly told my son and daughter-in-law that without my husband, our household had one less income, so I couldn't continue giving them $600 each month. My son and daughter-in-law were very understanding. They comforted me, saying they didn't need my support anymore, that I should just live my life well and tell them if I had any difficulties. From then on, I never gave them another penny. When I had the ability, it was fine to help them. But since I can't now, I can't pretend to be rich that would harm both myself and others. In my view, if an elderly person can't help their children, then not adding to their burdens is the best thing. If I continued to give my son $600 a month, my living standard would surely be affected. My money is limited, and if I kept giving, I'd have to save on my own expenses, which would affect my nutrition and health. And if my health deteriorated, my son wouldn't be able to work well to take care of me. Wouldn't that be harming him? So I firmly believe that taking care of my health and not adding burdens to my children is the correct choice for elderly people. After careful consideration, I divided my $1,500 pension into 3 parts, one for daily food and expenses, one for various living expenses, and one for savings. With this arrangement, I live comfortably, have peace of mind, and can avoid worrying my children, as they know I can manage my own life well. I believe whether old or young, one should have a clear sense of boundaries, keep a little selfishness. If elderly people don't think for themselves, they can only live with pain. Second, don't interfere too much in your children's lives. Many elderly people don't understand this. They see their children struggling, so they think of ways to help them, living frugally to leave money for their children, thinking that if their children live well, they can have a good old age. But what often happens is that the more you give, the more they want, not considering the elderly's difficulties. As time passes, the children stop caring for their elderly parents, thinking the money is owed to them. This scenario happens in many families and causes the elderly to live in bitterness and exhaustion. I'm more open-minded. Since my children became independent, I haven't intervened in their lives. They live their way, and I live mine. I never worry about their affairs. I have my own interests, and I keep my own social circle. When I'm free, I invite my neighbors for tea, chatting about daily life, reminiscing about our youth, and playing cards. I enjoy my time, unaffected by my children's matters. My son and daughter-in-law are considerate, often inviting me for meals. Sometimes I go, sometimes I don't. My children understand me, knowing I have my own life, so they don't insist. They even call me a hedonistic old lady. Though it's a joke, it actually means I have a happy old age. Third, the elderly should live happily, don't dwell on the past. I think since it's my life, I must live happily. I cherish the present, appreciate each day, and do what makes me happy. I avoid dwelling on the past and always maintain an optimistic outlook. Even if I encounter unpleasant things, I don't let them affect my mood. This mindset has kept me healthy and strong. An old lady once told me, if you want to live well in old age, you must learn to pamper yourself. Let yourself live happily and not take anything too seriously. I find this very true. You can't change the past. Why let it ruin your mood? The elderly should learn to enjoy life. Let their children do their own thing and not worry too much. In this way, both the children and the elderly can live happily. To sum up, the elderly living alone doesn't mean they're lonely or unhappy. If you have good health, an optimistic attitude, and proper financial planning, you can live a very happy life alone. I think if you believe in your abilities, you can face old age without fear, living a happy and meaningful life.
If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.